Welcome to the Maldives and welcome to the paradise island of Cinnamon Hakuraa Huraa. If you're thinking of visiting the Maldives for a vacation, if you've been to the Maldives before but thinking of visiting a different island, or if you're simply just interested to see what a Maldives resort actually looks like, then this video is for you. I've been lucky enough to visit the Maldives once before, visiting the island of Diamonds through the Fushi. And for you to compare, I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video and in the description below. In this video, I'll give you an ultimate guide as to what this island is really like and what the accommodation and facilities are on offer to you. I'll show you what the food offerings are like, and I'll share with you lots of top tips and information with you to make your stay more enjoyable and also save you money. I'll also share with you one of the risks of travelling to the Maldives and how it can end up costing you lots of money at the beginning or end of your vacation. So, let's get started with this ultimate review guide to Cinnamon Hakuraa Huraa. Hakuraa Huraa means simply reef over the water, and this coral island is located in the Mimu Atoll, 145 kilometres or 90 miles southwest of the capital of the Maldives, Malé. For information, Malé is where most people fly into for their resort destinations, and that is 800 kilometres or 497 miles southwest of Sri Lanka. It takes about 45 minutes by seaplane from Malé to get to this island paradise, or 2.5 hours by speedboat. The first tip I'll give you on this video is take care on the way that you travel to this resort. I was talking to a couple of nights ago who had a flight delay coming from Doha, and the flight delay meant that they missed their speedboat connection to the island. Unfortunately, the next speedboat was 24 hours later. So what they had to do was pay for a one-way ticket for both of them to travel to Akurhura, and that set them back $425 for a 45-minute journey for both people one way. So, you know, things like the weather can get in the way of speedboats and the seaplanes, of course, because neither can travel in the dark because some of the waters are so low. But just be mindful of that there are more risks, I think, involved in coming by speedboat than there are, because it's fairly easy, because they're such a fairly big company, the Trans-Maldavian Airways, it's fairly easy to get a flight to a resort at short notice, whereas a speedboat, they're obviously limited occupancy, and when they can and can't travel more, so you're going to end up costing you more money or losing a day of your holiday. Best time to visit the Maldives is between November and April. January to April are the driest months with little rain and low humidity, making this peak season at the resorts. The official currency is the Maldivian rupiah, although most resorts and islands do use US dollars, so you may want to bring some of those with you to give for tips, etc. But very, very rarely do people spend the rupiah. It's always going to be US dollars. So let me take you down to my villa. It's the very end one of the sunrise side, and I'll show you what that villa actually looks like. I keep calling it a villa, it's actually referred to as a bungalow. I did film it when we arrived very late one afternoon, but I wanted to give you the correct impression before it got a little bit messed up after we've been here for a few days. So as you can see, all the villas are numbered. Mine is 370 at the end, so you're going to have 35 arcing round that side and 35 arcing round, so you can roughly work out if you want a specific number for your stay, you can request that particular number villa. The water bungalows are all on this side of the island. The other side of the little rainforest area there is where everything else is. The restaurant, the pool and pool bar, dive centre, reception and welcome pavilion, spa, etc. Here we are, villa number 370. That's my outlook every day, which is absolutely stunning. You have a beautiful, beautiful sunrise over in that direction. and it's about a 5-minute walk to the reception and the restaurant, etc. on that side. So let me take you on a guided tour of our Overwater bungalow. That's a post box. Anything they need to make you aware of, they will post anything for you in there. Desk area with free tea and coffee, water and snacks. The beers and soft drinks in the mini bar, which is under here, are free. Anything else, spirits, confectionery, is chargeable. That's replaced every day. You come through this door here. That's your bathroom area with double sink. Lovely size waterfall shower. Hi. And over here we have the toilet, Western style toilet. That's for any laundry that you want done. The right side of the wardrobe is your safety deposit box, and the left hand side is your robes, ironing board, life vests, and also rain weather if we do have storms and rain. Into the main bedroom area. Lovely bed. You've also got, I'll show you a picture of this in the daylight as well. You can move that table, but there's lights under, so you can see the fish swimming underneath in your aircon unit. And then come out onto the decking. You've got your 2 lounges, hammock type thing, and corner sofa. And then down the steps for your swimming and snorkeling. That is your swimming pool, basically, the Indian Ocean. There is a swimming pool anyway, that's over on the left hand side of the island if you'd prefer a swimming pool rather than the ocean. So that is the room tour. So that's the room tour. Hope you found that really useful. If we came back one day, I think we would opt for a beach villa next time. You'll see my explanation as to why later on in the video. This has been fantastic, don't get me wrong, the water bungalows are brilliant, but we would try and like to see what it's like on the beach, and because one reason they are closer to all the amenities. But let's crack on now and I'll show you all the facilities that are available to you on the island of Akurhura. As we come off of the water bungalows, we go into the middle part of the island, and it really is like an enchanted forest in here, which you'll see in a moment. There are quite a few signposts all around. You can see that one in front there, directing you to the main restaurant and pool bar, and the other side of the bungalows. That's the side that is the sunset side. I'm currently on the sunrise side, but we'll go this way. I'll take you through the enchanted forest and take you to where the pool bar and the main buffet restaurant are for the island. I call this Banyan Avenue. As you can see, it's full of banyan trees and palm trees. It's really lovely. It's a nice area to come to get out of the shade. Throughout the island there are different quays, so it can be difficult at first to navigate yourself around, but these are stationed at every sort of junction, so it gives you an idea where you are as opposed to where you want to be. And there are plenty of warnings about things not to touch in the water, because if you touch any of these things they will probably kill you. Having said that, they're very, very rarely seen around the beach, and the bungalows, they're more likely out if you're diving or snorkeling off the island. So as we walk in front, that's the main restaurant area, which I'll show you properly in detail. That is the whole of the restaurant area there. It's called the Maldives restaurant. That's the toilets, back of the toilets for the beach area, so you haven't got to go back to your bungalow for that. That's the back side of the pool and the swimming pool with the beach. Again, I'll show you that in more detail shortly. There is a shop on the island selling limited snacks, souvenirs and sun protection. If you do have mobility issues, the guys are quite happy to send a buggy to collect you from near your water bungalow to take you to reception, for example, if you're going on a trip or before your journey home. That's the Mandara Spa. The ladies in there are absolutely fantastic. They offer a real good selection of different packages. Highly, highly recommended. I'll take you inside and show you what that's like. It's a really lovely place to come. They offer, say, some good packages as well. There is a very small child's play area, as you can see, and child activities in there. In the whole week that I've been here, I haven't seen one child, and children aren't really sort of catered for on the island as such. There's not a separate menu for children. There is not pre-organised things for children. That's really what they offer. And so just to make you aware of the fact that the main private island is an adults only island where children are not permitted. This over here is the wishing tree. This is lit up at night. You can purchase a heart from reception for $15 and you can hang it on the wishing tree in the hope that your wish will come true. It's a nice little thing to do and also a good photo opportunity as well. The reception you can see in front is also the welcome pavilion that you saw at the beginning of the video. This is where you settle your bill at the end of your stay, where there is a cashier service in the evening and where you can sign up for the various trips on offer at the resort. It is located on the boardwalk between the main island and the private adults only island. You can save money on some of the trips on offer by taking advantage of the resort's combo packages, as you can see on this board. And the resort also allows you to mix and match to suit your needs. So as we walk to Private Island, just a perspective, that is the end of the sunset side of the bungalows. My advice, if you want either a sunrise or sunset, is email the resort before you arrive and try and request. They can't always guarantee it, but they will try and do their best to accommodate any requests that you've actually got. But so if you're going to opt to stay on the Platinum Private Island, what do you get for your money? You get your own pool, you get your own buffet restaurant, which I've been told by people who are staying on this island is a smaller version of the one on the main island, but has exactly the same food. And you also get no other option other than a beach bungalow. But it is an adults only island, so if that's your thing, then maybe this is the island to stay for you. One thing I will make you aware of though, which we wasn't made aware by a travel company, we used TUI for this holiday, and we wasn't told by the Cinnamon people when we got here, is that you can opt for the premium all-inclusive. I was under the impression that the all-inclusive meant all-inclusive, but it actually doesn't. For example, you can't use everything in your minibar without charge, and there are other restrictions as well. But if you opt for the premium all-inclusive, the cost of that at the time of doing this video is $130 if you're staying for 5 nights or less, or $90 per person if you're staying for 7 nights or less. And what do you get for that money? You get the whole of the minibar free of charge, which is replenished every day. You also get 2 1-hour massages per person for the price. You also get a dinner on the beach included. You also get 2 free trips out, and bearing in mind that the shark watching trip that I did was $50 and the island hopping was $60, that already covers the cost of it within that. You also get the full cocktail choice. For example, I'm not a big drinker, but I do like a mojito. That is a premium cocktail, which would have cost me $10. So for that price, good morning, how are you? But for that price, I think it's really good value for money. But not every travel operator will tell you about it, and the island didn't tell us about it. So something that you may want to be aware of or opt for, or certainly consider, because I think it is really good value for money. Let's show you what the island is like. So the restaurant in front of us is the Manzari restaurant. That is the buffet restaurant. We'll go around this way first of all. That's the Vevu bar and the pool for the island. So it's a smaller pool than on the main island. That's the bar and the relaxation area over there. You can swing out to the ocean. So it's now mid-morning, so the restaurant isn't opened at this time. But it gives you an indication every day of what's on, so things you can actually opt for. I won't take you in fully, but you get the idea of the type of restaurant that it actually is. As I mentioned, there's no water bungalows, overwater bungalows on this island. They are all beach bungalows. But this island at the moment, we were told, is full occupancy. Well, you can see it's not exactly crowded. So they do make sure that there's plenty of space and plenty of tranquility for people. The beach quality, I would say, on the private island is better. There's not as much coral that you walk on. That's the first of the beach bungalows, you can see. The layout though is very, very similar to the ones on the main island, and slightly different for the ones on the water bungalows, where you've got the decking and you've got the glass bottom to see the fish. So that gives you an indication of what the private Passingham Island is like. Let me take you back now to the main island and I'll show you the main facilities on that. At the end of the video, I will give you my summary of the pros and cons of staying here, so keep tuned to the end. I'll also be sharing some more information for you if you're considering this resort for your vacation. So back onto the main island. Again, that's where we've just come from. The welcome pavilion and reception and the private island. We're now on the main island. So my advice to you would be, if you're coming here, that everything you possibly need is all in a straight line on this side of the island. So the first thing you'll see here, and we saw it a little while ago, is the crab restaurant. Let me give you a closer view of this. If you are staying on the main island, you can book for any of the restaurants on the island and the private island at a cost. Gives you an idea of what the crab restaurant is like. So this is obviously an example of the a la carte menu in the crab restaurant. As you can see, it's not particularly cheap to eat here. I didn't eat here myself, as my wife doesn't particularly like seafood, but I was told by people that did that the food was excellent. They do offer theme nights during the week. For example, king crab was on offer one night for $65 per person. So that little area there, which is lit up at night, is where you can book a crab beach barbecue dinner, which is $200 per couple. All the prices I'm going to give you, by the way, are all inclusive of service charge and tax. Up there as well, that little veranda you can see between the trees and the plants there, that is the hilltop dining area. Again, another intimate area where you can have a 3-course meal, fish meal and dessert for $300 per couple. And you can also book for dining under the stars, which is $275 per couple. It's a 3-course meal, really good choices to choose from, and that will include things like beef tenderloin, lobster thermidor and dessert, etc. Next to the crab restaurant is the dive and sail centre. That's where on the day or the day after your arrival you can pick up your free snorkel mask and fins. They have to be returned the night before you travel home. You can also book various excursions there, such as snorkeling with sharks, snorkeling with manta rays, and you can also book, if you're a diver, you can also book diving trips there. You can also learn to dive. They take you out into that area of the Indian Ocean for your practical dive training. That can all be booked from that particular area there. You can also hire catamarans, as you can see. They've also got jet skis, if that's your thing as well. So again, the tide is beginning to come in now. We're now approaching the 10 beach bungalows on the main island. There's 10 on this island and there's 20 beach bungalows on the main island. Again, they're very similar appointed. There's big frontages though on these ones on the main island, so you can get some real privacy here, as you can probably see. I'm not going to go up to them because it wouldn't be fair on people staying here. But you get comfy seating outside with chairs, you get sun lounges, parasol, all the usual things. And they're set nicely back, but you've literally got a short walk into the ocean. Again, if you've got mobility issues or you're struggling for walking, I would suggest that a beach bungalow might be a good option for you, because the water bungalows are a bit of a trek to this side of the island through the windy sandy lanes, whereas these, as you can see, are right on the beach and right near the other facilities, so something you may want to opt for. You do get fish swimming along, reef sharks, which are completely harmless. That's the little island over there. You can walk over to that. It's got tables and chairs either end. You can actually book to have meals on that island. If you've got a special occasion that you want to celebrate, they take everything over there. It's all lit up with lanterns, really, really lovely. You can do that. It's about a 1/4 mile walk, but the height is no higher than your waist. You can walk over there and back. So this is the main beach area for the main island. That pier there is where any visitors to the island, workers, come and go. Things are brought in, supplies are brought in and taken off the island, so it doesn't interfere with anyone staying here. So this main area, on the right hand side there, I'll take you over and show you the gym. If you think of worse places to have a workout, looking onto that every day. It's a very small gym, but it's got most of the equipment that you need: treadmills, stair walker, free weights, etc. I'll take you in and give you a little look at that so you can see. That's the swimming pool. You've got some cabanas over there which you can actually use. They're obviously included in the package. So this is the gym, as you can see. That's your view when you're working out. Water as well, towels. Little jacuzzi pool there next to the main pool. Chance to wash off when you've been in the sea. That's where you collect your towels and return your towels. Take as many as you want during the day. Over here is a little games area, table tennis, pool, table football, chairs, comfy chairs. There's also a book library where you can exchange books if you've read the ones that you want. More information as well about the trips you can do and the costs. So I was mentioning before about the cost of the premium all-inclusive. If you think about the dolphin safari and the sunset shark watching, you've already covered your costs about anything else. I've done a separate video of the island hopping as well, so if you're interested in that, check that video out. That will show you what that's all about. It's the main bar area. Give you an example of what the inclusive and premium inclusive menus are as well for the drinks. So the premium all inclusive. So this is the all-inclusive drinks menu, not the premium, so you can see what you've got if you don't opt for the premium service. Coffee stations are also at the bar. Get milk, etc. from reception. One thing to note as well is that all-inclusive doesn't include things like lattes and cappuccinos, but they are included on the premium all-inclusive package. If you're not on that and you want to pay separate, cocktails are roughly $10 each, and the lattes and cappuccinos are $5 each. So it really does make sense, if you can, to opt for the premium inclusive option. You're definitely going to get your money and save a lot of money in the process. So that's the toilets we saw the back of earlier, over in that direction. I'll take you back onto the beach. These are the cabanas. And I'll show you, we'll step down here, the restaurant. So that is the restaurant we saw the back of earlier in the video. It's divided into 3 sections. You've got 2 dining sections either side. You've got the food serving area in the middle, and that little area there is a smoking area. Your tables are assigned to you on check-in, and that will be your table for the rest of the stay. My wife and myself are really lucky to get one of those tables outside there in the middle. So we have a fantastic view every morning, every lunchtime and every evening for our meal. To save time on this video, I will post a separate video of what is on offer for breakfast, lunch and dinner, which will be well worth watching. So please do look out for that video when it's posted. So what are my positives and what are my negatives when considering this island and whether I think it's worth coming to? The first one will be the accommodation. The accommodation from the water bungalows and the beach bungalows are very similar. The difference being that you have the decking with the hammock effect on the Overwater bungalow, and you also have the glass bottom where you can see the fish swimming under your bungalow, which is, you know, a nice little gimmicky thing to do. I think the accommodation is well appointed. It's quite up to date. It's got good Wi-Fi, good air conditioning. You've got a mini bar, comfy bed, comfy pillows, nicely appointed bathroom. The shower, rainfall shower, is good as well. So the accommodation definitely scores highly for me. Second on my list will be the food. The food is outstanding. In all the years I've been going abroad, I would say it's right up there with the best food I've ever had. There's something different every day. They cater for all tastes, all different types of salad, different types of meat. There's a Chinese station every night, local Maldivian and Sri Lankan food, Western food, lovely desserts. There is plenty and plenty of food options for you, and the food is absolutely fantastic. So the food scores really highly for me. Third one, and it should have come first really, is the staff. The staff are absolutely amazing, from the ladies at reception to the ladies in the spa, which is highly recommended, to the servers at your tables, the cleaners. Everybody is fantastic. They can't do enough for you, and they really go out of their way to make it an enjoyable and a memorable visit for you. So the staff here are absolutely fantastic. The free snorkeling, being honest, you do have to hunt the fish out. There are some smaller fish around the beach areas around here, and you do get the odd ray and reef shark now and again, but the best snorkeling from my experience here on the island is around the water villas. But to actually go out and see the live coral and the more abundance of fish, the free snorkeling trips between 10 and 11 AM and 3 and 4 PM are really worthwhile. There's 6 different places they take you to. You're in the water for about 40 minutes. Really highly recommended. The trips available are quite good, but my suggestion would be to think carefully about the trips you want to do. Me and my wife, one of the trips we did was the shark feeding, which was good, but we literally went about 10 minutes off of this pier, fed the sharks for about 20-25 minutes, then came back again. That was $55. I didn't think, to be honest, it was worth the money. You know, you could tell me wrong on that one, but I thought that was a lot of money for what it was. But the island hopping trip was a must for me. That was really good, really interesting to see what life is like for real Maldivians in their villages and towns. I will be doing a separate video for that, so please do check that one out if you want to see what real Maldivian life is like, and I really would recommend that trip if you come here. So those, I would say, are the main pluses. Let's turn now to the negatives. First one for me is my major gripe, and probably the main real one for the gripe, is that it's not all-inclusive. Good morning, how are you? All-inclusive to me, you're going somewhere, means everything's included. It isn't here. We wasn't made aware of the fact of the premium all-inclusive package we could take. So consequently, 3/4 of the way through the holiday we find out about it when it's a bit too late by then. But to have to pay $5 for a cappuccino or a latte, or $10 for a cocktail that you really like. I like mojitos. I'm not a big drinker, but I like a mojito now and again. You know, $10 for that, when that would have been included in the premium inclusive package. TUI we come through didn't mention it at all. It is mentioned by other travel sites, but something to bear in mind and think about. If you've got any questions around that, then please do ask in the comments below, and I'll be happy to help you with that. The beach, very small criticism. The beach on the main island is quite sharp with coral, and I would really recommend that you wear snorkel shoes or beach shoes, because it can be quite sharp, and it can, you can give yourself a nasty injury if you're not careful where you're treading. That's a very small point, but compared to Diamonds to the Fushi, that was really white powder sand and no issues there at all, whereas this beach is slightly more difficult to actually walk on. The other really gripe for me, but you know, there are places to snorkel around the island, there's no house reef. Again, Diamonds to the Fushi had a house reef where you literally walk off the beach or off your water bungalow straight into an aquarium basically. That isn't the case here, but having said that, I think the island are aware of it, and consequently they do the free snorkel trips twice a day to accommodate for that. And as far as I'm concerned, it accommodates really well, because you're not going to be in the water all day long anyway. So if you choose to go in the morning and the afternoon for snorkeling, then so be it. They're really the 3 points for me. 3 minor points, I know, but you know, to make it perfect, those are the things I would say are different. Would I come back here? Absolutely yes. There are so many positives and so very few small negatives that why wouldn't you? When you look out and you see that with all the other positives I mentioned for you, why would you not want to come back? It's absolutely stunning. So I hope you found this video useful. If you've liked it, please do help me out on my channels. I'm really trying to help my channel to grow. please do give me a thumbs up, like, and please do consider subscribing to the channel if you like the content. In relation to this actual holiday stroke vacation, if I haven't put up already, I'll also be doing videos of Malé International Airport and the seaplane terminal, so you've got an idea what that is actually like. I will also be doing one on Malé International Airport departures, so if you've got an early start, a late start, and you want to see what's available for you for something to eat or last minute gifts, I'll hopefully show you that as well. There's a separate video around the marine life, around the bungalows and on the snorkeling trip, so you can see what that is. And I'll also do a separate video on the island hopping trip, so you can actually see what that's like, if that interests you generally, or if you're thinking of doing that when you're coming to visit the island. So that's it. I hope it's been useful, as I say. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to everybody that's subscribed to my channel. It really does mean a lot to me. And I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.